boys and girls, this is Miss Cohen. I miss seeing you guys every day so much. So I've talked to your teachers and they have allowed me to do a special project with you. So over the next few weeks, we are going to be reading the book Blood on the River together. This is a fantastic book by Elisa Carbone about Jamestown, which was in 1607. It is filled with lots of information you're going to need to know for your social studies. And we're also going to, of course, get a lot of reading practice in and maybe even a little bit of writing. But we're going to have so much fun with it. This is one of my absolute favorite books. I have read it many times. I have lent it out to many of my adult friends because I just love it so much. So I'm excited to be sharing it with you. Before we get started on our first reading though, we're going to start with a little bit of Virginia geography so that you know exactly where all of this is taking place. So we're going to start, if you could get a piece of paper, you're going to hold it sideways like this. And I'm just going to put it up on my board here. Let's see where you can see that. And I'm going to bring the camera a little bit closer so that you can see what I'm doing. And then you can just follow along with me. So this paper is going to help us. We are going to create a map of Virginia and all of the geographical features that we need to know about it. So you need to take your left hand. It's important to use your left hand at the edge of that paper, just like I have it. And you're going to spread out your fingers a bit and then just trace your hand. And if you are a lefty, I know this might be a little bit difficult, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just need to get that shape in there. All right. I know that doesn't look a lot like Virginia yet. It just looks like a hand, but we're going to make it look like Virginia. We do have to add one more thing up here. We're going to put up in this blank space up at the top on the right, just another, it's going to be a peninsula. So just kind of like a V shape at the top. All right. So now we're going to start. This is our state of Virginia. Around the edges are going to be bordering states, and all of this in here is going to be waterways. So you can do this really in a fancy way with different colors to help you understand, you know, what's water and what's regions, color it afterwards. But I'm just going to start very basic right now. So follow along with me. First, we're going to start with our bordering states. So there is an acronym to help us remember all of these. So to help us with the bordering states, I like to use the phrase mustard with ketchup tastes nasty. Maybe you think so, maybe you don't. It's an opinion. But this is just to help us remember. So it's MWKTN. Mustard with ketchup tastes nasty. So what we're doing is we're going to start up here. The state above us is Maryland. So we're going to write Maryland here. Okay, so Maryland starts with M, and that's why we use mustard. The next one is going to then start with W, so we're going to continue around here. Now W, if we're Virginia, can you think about what would start with W? It is West Virginia, and I'm just going to put VA to shorten that for Virginia. Okay, so we've got West Virginia there. Then I'm kind of squeezing this in. This isn't perfect, but the next one is a K. And we're going to put Kentucky. So Kentucky comes as our next bordering state. T down here stands for Tennessee. And below us, you probably know this one because we live so close to this state. The N is for North, and this is North. I'm just going to put an N for North Carolina. Okay, so there are, oh, my pen just ran out. Let me quickly get another one. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is for North Carolina. All right, so those are our bordering states. Next, we're going to move on to the regions. There are 5 regions in Virginia. And the acronym I'm going to use for that one, and I've heard a few different acronyms for this, so anything you've heard before or if you come up with your own, perfectly fine, whatever works to help you remember. But we have 5 regions of Virginia. So first of all, we're going to draw the lines for those. So this is our big region that we live in that we're really going to be focusing on, but we're going to put a line down for that region. That'll be 1. And if we need 5 regions, we actually need to make 4 lines. So we're going to put 1, I should have made that one a little closer. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. We'll make 5 regions. Uh-oh. My bunny rabbit's eating the book. We need to move that. Okay, so we have here a very big potato chip. We're going to start on the left side the same way we read, and we're going to go across and label our regions. So we have A, which stands for the Appalachian Plateau. Okay, so I'm going to put Appalachian, and I know you can't probably see this really well, but I'm going to show you a finished one at the end to help you see it a little bit better. But this is our Appalachian Plateau. The next one starts with a V. That's the Valley and Ridge. Valley and Ridge region. The next one starts with a B. That's the Blue Ridge Mountains. Blue Ridge Mountains. Okay. Our next one is a P. So that's the Piedmont. And finally, C is the one we live in, which is the coastal plain, also called the tidewater. So if you think about how we live on the coast of the water, that will help you remember it's the coastal plain or tidewater. So I'm actually going to put both of those names here because you may see either one. Coastal plain, tidewater. Okay. So now we have our bordering states, Maryland, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina. That was mustard with ketchup, tastes nasty. We have our regions, a very big potato chip, Appalachian Plateau, Valley and Ridge, Blue Ridge Mountains, Piedmont, and the coastal plain or tidewater. So next we're going to go to our peninsulas. So the peninsulas we have, now I want to show you that this kind of connects. This is land right here. Oh, I did that in the wrong place. Excuse me. This is land right here at the bottom of your thumb. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I had done that right. I apologize. This is land here. Okay. And this is land here. So all of this is land. That's connected. So we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 peninsulas that we need to know about in our region of Virginia. 1, 2, 3, 4, because these are connecting to the land. So you have the 3 middle fingers and this extra one we put up here. Well, these are fairly simple to remember because this one is at the top, and we know in our directions at the top would be north. So that one is just called the Northern Neck Peninsula. Northern Neck Peninsula. So it's the top one. It's on the north, the northern neck. This one out of 3 is in the middle. So it's called Middle Peninsula. Pretty simple. And at the bottom is just simply called the peninsula. And don't forget, we have one more over here, and this is called the Eastern Shore. If you've ever gone across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, you end up on the Eastern Shore, and that's over here. And again, that one's not real hard to remember because if you look at your directions, right, we've got north, south, west, and east. That is on the east. And it's a lot of shoreline along the water. So we've got, again, northern neck up at the north, middle in the middle peninsula, and the peninsula, and then the eastern shore. Those are all of our peninsulas. All right, so now let's move on to our waterways. And for our waterways, I like to use this saying, please remember your jacket. Okay, so we're going to start at the top the same way that we read. We start at the top, we go down, and it's P-R-Y-J. Please remember your jacket. So the P stands for the Potomac River. I'm just going to put an R for river since we'll have that at the end of each one. Potomac River. Then we have the R, which stands for the Rappahannock River. And then Y is the York River. And J is for the James River. Okay, and if we're learning about Jamestown, you now know it's more going to take place in this area by the James River. So please remember your jacket, Potomac, Rappahannock, York, and James. We do have some other waterways because this is all water as well, right? So this area, this big, large area, well, we know our largest areas of water are our oceans. And when you go to the beach, what are you swimming in? It's the Atlantic Ocean. So this out here is our Atlantic Ocean. And then the ocean comes in. We have all these little rivers, but there's also a bigger area of water. Nothing like the ocean, but larger than our rivers. And all the rivers come off of, this is the Chesapeake Bay. Okay, many of you have probably been to the Chesapeake Bay. Again, if you've ever gone over that large Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel, that's going to bring you across the bay to the eastern shore. And there are just two more things that we need to know about for our geography of Virginia, and that's called the fall line. The fall line is actually this line between the coastal plain and the Piedmont. And we know that there's not a real line on the map, or on, I shouldn't say on the map, on the ground, right, in the real world. However, this line is pretty interesting because there are a lot of waterfalls there. And so that's why we call it the fall line. So that line is special. I'm going to put an arrow so we know that's the line. That's called the fall line. And along the fall line, but down here more toward the James River, I'm going to put a star. On a map, a star usually indicates a city, and the special stars are for the capitals. And this would be the capital of Virginia is Richmond. So I'm going to label that Richmond. Okay? That is all of the geography of Virginia that you need to know. So if you do that, I'm going to show you a prettier version. This is what it will end up looking like. And you can make one as nice as you'd like. This coloring kind of helps. Again, remember, you can see your states that this is all land and then this is water, okay? And you've got everything that you need to know, all right? So I hope that helps you. And next time I see you, we will start reading Blood on the River. Goodbye.